Hey guys, it's Kristi from Stone Family Farmstead. I want to take a few minutes to talk to you about some things that our family's experiencing. We're in California, and how we're dealing with some of that stuff, and share some things that you could be doing during this time that we're under quarantine and going through this whole coronavirus crisis. So some of the things, I'll just kind of relay our story. Our story is that a couple of weeks ago, I found out, really had no idea that we were going through such a crisis. I guess I don't really watch the news, or I didn't at that time. And my husband and I were driving around, and we saw people waiting outside of a Winco with a sign out there that said there was a 2-hour wait. And we were like, wow, that's so weird. We had no idea. So we went on to Home Depot, did what we needed to do, went to Walmart, and saw empty shelves. And it was a really weird, eerie thing, because people were walking around, and it wasn't just a couple shelves that were empty, but it was actually most of the shelves. And most of it was, processed food that was gone. And if you don't eat processed food, that's neither here nor there for you. But there are a lot of foods that you can store on the shelf and just add water to. And that's kind of what I was looking for, because we don't normally eat that kind of food, but we do have it on the shelf just in case any kind of disaster or something happens. And out here in California, we are always faced with the possibility of earthquakes and things like that, just like any other part of the country that has their issues, and the things that are disasters that happen in their area. So my husband, who does not freak out at all, he didn't freak out, but he said, hey, maybe we ought to start buying some of the things that we need to make sure that we actually can get them. And so we did some of those things. After that, we made a big order. We usually order our groceries, and we made a big order, and I just bought, I didn't buy like a hoarding amount, but just a few weeks, just in case, to kind of get us over the hump, to make sure that we had everything we need. And I got that, and it looked like this. Then a couple days later, I thought of a few other things that we were gonna need. And long story short, every time I have tried to order groceries, we have been denied some of it, if not up to half of it. Even today, we just got an order, and the lady was only able to get us half. Meats and dried beans and staple stuff is what's also gone. So in light of all of these things, and in light of the fact that we need to be in our houses and looking at, how to provide some of our own needs, maybe. Well, let me back up a little bit. As a sidebar, I have been watching the news for about a week, and I normally don't, but I've been trying to listen carefully to see how to position our family in a way that is comfortable for all of us. And so some of the things that I'm hearing them say is, we're not going to have any worldwide food shortages. We're not going to have any, stoppage of any of our utilities and stuff like that. Everything is going to be fine. Some businesses may not come out of this thing very well. The economy, we're trying to make sure that that's going to be okay with what is the word? Not the bailouts, but with the stimulus and everything, and also giving stimulus money to people so that they have money to live. But even with all of that, it was only from about the beginning of March to mid-March that there was like a vast difference. And I don't know if you noticed it, I'm sure you did. It was like within a week that we were quarantined, you know. It started out as like a self quarantine, got to where, you know, certain states were being told, you know, don't go anywhere unless you are, you know, doing these few things that you could count on your hand. So anyways, in light of all those things, and in light of how quickly everything is changing, in light of the fact that I have so much time, that we have so much time to spend at home, I'm trying to spend a little bit of time encouraging you guys. And I started in one of my Facebook groups, but I thought, you know, maybe I ought to bring it to you guys too, that it's going to be a good idea for us to think a little bit more long term. And when I first started talking about this, you know, I was kind of like, yeah, this is probably not going to happen or whatever. And it still might not. But right now is the time for, if you ever have wanted to garden, this is probably the time that you need to get that started. And so we're in California, and it warms up here and in some other states faster. So I'm thinking that some of you guys are going to have plenty of time still to start your seeds indoors. I have some seeds starting indoors within the last couple of weeks, and it's really skating close to the time that I need to get those things into the ground. So it's really a quick operation that I'm doing here. And over the weekend I got about 20 tomato plants in of various kinds, paste, so that I can make you know, sauces and can some tomatoes and stuff. Cherry tomatoes so that I can eat raw on salads, and then some early girl short maturity tomatoes so that I can harvest those sometime within 2 months and start getting, you know, the food rolling in and everything. I've also got lettuce, cantaloupe, cucumbers. I'm hoping to have some squash in soon, and you know, some herbs and some things like that. But now is the time, you know, to get started, to try to figure this out. If you stay tuned to the beginning of April, I am going to be rolling out a gardening course. I haven't decided what to do with it yet, being that people are really needing information to garden on the cheap right now. I really would like to put something into your hands free. I don't think I can do the course that way, but I really would like to give you guys, you know, provide like a garden planner for you guys, and that should be ready, you know, within about a week and a half for download. And so if you are interested in that, head over to stonefamilyfarmstead.com/subscribe, and by doing that you'll be subscribing to my newsletter, and I will be making that available for free. It's a 47-page garden planner with instructions on how to plan your garden, and that will be 100% free for all of my subscribers. So if you would go ahead and do that, that would be really good. Another thing I want to share with you is that there is a thing that we're doing with a whole bunch of bloggers have gotten together, and we have all contributed ebooks and resources all in a package bundle called the Spring Garden Giveaway. And if you go to gardenbundle.net, you can get a whole bunch of resources for free just by subscribing there. And so those things are available to you now and will be available to you down the line. And if you need more instruction, stay tuned to my newsletter, and I'll let you know, um, how to take my course, which is going to be on the Udemy platform. And so I don't know, they run their sales whenever they run them. So sometimes the course might be, $39.97, or other times the course might be, $9.97. So it's just varies. I don't know what it'll be once it is up and live. So, but you can get more information if you just hang out on my newsletter subscription list, and you can get that information. But all that aside, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that you can be doing right now to make sure that your family has food and the other things that you need. So right now it's kind of almost like the grocery stores are getting some stuff in stock, and then it's going away. So some of the things that I am hearing, though I don't know what it's going to be like in your area, is that the stores are stocking overnight. You may want to call your store and check and see, but the stores, I think over here, might be stocking overnight, and then the best time to go to the store would be early morning. However, there are some stores that are opening only to seniors, so check your times at your favorite grocery stores and see what is available, and try to get to the stores as soon as you can in the morning, so that you can go, get what you need. A lot of stores are rationing things, maybe 1 or 2 items per person. Maybe some aren't. I don't know. We usually have Instacart deliver our groceries, and so we order what we want, and they'll tell us, if there's a limit on it and that they can't get it or whatever. But if you go to the store, you'll probably see what the limits are. I would suggest that you try to get what you need, as you can. Right now it's going to be hard to shop. And for longer term planning, I suggest that you think about the top 3 things that you can grow in your garden that your family eats. And I would suggest that you get those seeds and try to master those 3 things. So if it's lettuce, tomato, and carrots that you guys eat most, then get those seeds, and make sure don't just get any seeds. Try to ask around gardeners in your area, maybe find a Facebook group or something, and ask which ones grow best in your area, because believe it or not, just because a planting zone list says you can plant carrots from here to here doesn't necessarily mean that those carrots will do, that every kind of carrot will do well. They might do okay. Some varieties do better than others in different areas of your zone and in different microclimates. And so if you're new to gardening, maybe try a couple different varieties of carrot, of tomato, and of, what was the other thing I said? I don't know, corn or whatever. But get started. Get something into the ground, read up on those particular plants, and try to do your best to master that stuff. I'm gonna work on getting some more videos done about ways to garden on the cheap. If you don't know this already, I have a video on my YouTube channel that is called Gardening on the Cheap, and it talks about all the things that you can get from the dollar store. I have not been to the dollar store this year, or during this thing, at this coronavirus thing, so I don't know what they have there. But I do want to do, periodic videos on how to do things cheap, how to reuse stuff at your house, and how to, not spend any money on your gardening. And so I'm going to be looking for ways to do that myself. Basically I'm just kind of going back to the mindset of like, hey, I don't know if we're going to be able to have paper towels. I don't know if we're going to be able to, get a hold of all the things that we need. But let me just give you a quick rundown of stuff that you'll need to start seeds. And that would be seed starting mix or peat pellets. I don't know if there's been a run on those things. My assumption is yes. So I would try to look for that stuff at like Walmart and or Home Depot, those stores first. I would also try to look on Amazon and see if that's one of the things that they are shipping out right now, because I know that they're being selective about what they're shipping right now. And then if you can't find it there, widen your search, go to nurseries and things like that, and try to find your seeds, your seed starting mix, or your peat pellets. If you don't have things to plant, to put your seed starting mix in, you can save containers. Don't save tin cans. I've been looking into that because we're actually using some cans right now, and I was wondering if we could plant in those, and the general consensus is, yeah, don't do it because they rust. And they're so small anyways, and they're not that easy to get if you were to start seeds in it, they're not that easy to get the plants back out. So you can use things like yogurt containers. If you want to do the work, you can use eggshells. You can use egg cartons if you want to. Those last two I don't feel are the best choice, but you do what you can. I saw another idea the other day of using the toilet paper rolls, and the person that was the video I was watching, they didn't even close up the bottom of the toilet paper rolls. They just packed them full of compost, and then just put them all inside of a container, and then just planted their seeds. But if you want to close up the bottom, you can always do fold them up or whatever. And if you guys want, just tell me and I'll do a demonstration video for those, because I'm starting to save all of those as well. And let's see, what else can I tell you? So you're going to want that. You're going to want a fertilizer. And so if you are not able to get a hold of like worm castings or something like that, you can always sub in a synthetic fertilizer if you want to. The problem with using synthetic fertilizers is that it leaves behind salt after it leaches everything off of the fertilizer. That makes it hostile to a healthy ecosystem. So I would just use that sparingly. But if you have to, you have to. If you have to feed your plants, you have to feed your plants. Otherwise, you can use worm castings and do that every week or two, or worm tea or something like that. There's a lot of ideas, a lot of ways to fertilize. But if you're new, you can get like a 444 all-purpose fertilizer, and you'd be able to use that. I would get water soluble and a granulated version of a 444, and then you can just adjust as needed for whatever. But I'm just saying that it's a just for now thing. If you are opposed to using synthetic fertilizers, there are plenty of other organic ways to fertilize. They just take a little bit more effort. So anyway, those are the things that you're going to need for seed starting. And let's see, what else can I tell you? I would collect other things, like maybe if you have a friend that is also a gardener, maybe you can get seeds from them. Maybe you can trade seedlings with them. There's a lot of different things that we can do for gardening without spending any money. But I am going to suggest to you guys that you start thinking like that this is going to be a few months, that we're not sure that we're going to have everything we need. I don't want anybody to feel like this is a scarier situation than what it is. But what I'm trying to do is just to kind of let you know that there are some things that you can do to have a little bit more control, to feel a little bit more control, and to feel safer for yourself and for your family. So if you are thinking that, you want to rely on, the system, and you believe what the government is saying, you know what? I believe them too. But at the same time, I also think, that we're just humans. We don't know. We've never dealt with this before. As far as, this generation of people hasn't dealt with, an epidemic like this. And so we're kind of going in blind on this. So if you are already a homesteader, you want to get started, with your garden, this is a really good place to do that. And so if you want any information on gardening, you can head over to stonefamilyfarmstead.com and check out, just plug into the search bar, garden, and I've got a ton of instruction there. And like I said before, if you subscribe to my blog, and you can do that through any post. I don't really have a subscribe place on the front of my blog, but if you click on any post, or most posts, not everyone, but lots of different posts, you can subscribe, through there, or you can go to stonefamilyfarmstead.com/subscribe, and you can get on my mailing list, and I will be making available the garden planner absolutely for free for my subscribers. But you have to be a subscriber to get it, okay? And if you want, you can unsub directly after that if you want to, but I just want to, make it my gift to you that you can use to get your family on their feet, or, just prepare for something that, that could be coming, that doesn't necessarily have to be coming, but that could. And at the very least, get you started with your garden and your homestead. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot for listening, and I appreciate you. I love you guys, and I will see you soon with videos on gardening on the cheap. Bye.